knows how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with. That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're an Oreo cookie, white in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro, I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I will slap you.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
As many of you know, the radical homosexuals are trying to take over America. They want to take over the family, the churches, government, education, in order to convince you and me that homosexuality is normal, that they're born that way, and that there is nothing you can do to overcome it. In California, they passed a law that says that you can't even counsel young homosexuals who would like to overcome the lifestyle and who do not believe that they are born that way. Well, now they're trying to get a law passed there in Washington, D.C. that says that you cannot counsel young homosexuals. Isn't that amazing? Anything to stop freedom. I have with me Christopher Doyle. He is co-founder and president of Voice of the Voiceless, defending the rights of former homosexuals, individuals with unwanted same-sex attractions, and their families. He is also the director of International Healing Foundation, a nonprofit founded in 1990 that helps those struggling with sexual orientation. This Friday at 12 p.m. in Washington, D.C., ex-gay supporters will testify against a bill 20-501 prohibiting counseling and therapy for gay minors in D.C. Amazing stuff. Well, Christopher, good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Jesse. Thanks for having me.
I do appreciate you being here. First, tell the folks, explain what this bill is about exactly.
Well, this bill is actually a copycat bill from California and New Jersey, who in 2012 and 2013 passed these laws that you referenced that are now prohibiting minors, those are young people under the age of 18, from receiving counseling to overcome unwanted same-sex attractions. And we have been actively fighting this legislation all across the country in 2014. When these two laws passed, both in California and New Jersey, a couple of years ago, the gay activists just started going crazy, and they introduced legislation in 15 states after that. And because of our hard work, Jesse, and because of ex-gays all across the country who have been speaking up and talking to legislatures, we have defeated 11 of these bills in 2014 already. In
Great.
11 states. 11 states.
Wow.
So our work is working. Washington, D.C. is an especially tough place because it's very, very pro-gay in the sense that 17% of the population in Washington, D.C. is LGBT identified. And as you know, the LGBT community is driven and fueled by activists who are spreading misinformation about the nature of what this type of therapy is.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're trying to educate these council members and tell them, listen, we're not converting anyone. They call this a conversion therapy bill. That's not what that is. We're not converting anyone. The individuals that want to receive counseling, similar to my story, Jesse, I was a young man, a Christian with unwanted same-sex attractions and struggled with it for many years. And through help and the power of God and also men in my life that loved me and good counseling, I came out of homosexuality. Today I'm married to my beautiful wife of 8 years. We have 3 children. I don't have any same-sex attractions. So I know personally that it works. And professionally, I've worked with about 150 people over the past 5 years as a licensed clinical professional counselor. And I know that people can experience change.
God bless you, man.
So this whole thing of conversion therapy or converting people, we're not converting anyone. The clients that want to change are those who feel very distressed. They have unwanted same-sex attractions. They don't identify themselves as gay or lesbian. In fact, they don't believe they're gay. They believe they're a heterosexual with a homosexual problem, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, yes.
So it's a whole misinformation campaign out there by gay activists to say that we're hurting or abusing minors. Nothing could be further from the truth. We are providing a life-saving service, and we're advocating for individuals who literally don't have a voice. And that's why when I co-founded this organization in 2013 with D.L. Foster, we named it Voice of the Voiceless, because no one is advocating for minors who don't want to identify as gay and want to seek to come out of homosexuality.
They say the radicals say that there's no such thing as overcoming, and that the people who claim that they have overcome have really not overcome the lifestyle. And I just want to make it clear with you, there is no desire or temptation at all for that lifestyle, right?
Absolutely not. I've been out of homosexuality for 10 years. I did my work, okay? I understood the root causes of what was driving those same-sex attractions in my own life.
And what's the root cause?
So for me, it was a few things, and typically I see this in my clients: a lack or insufficient bonding with the same gender parent, meaning my father.
Yep.
A lack of bonding with other guys, same gender peers. See, what happens, Jesse, is the father acts as a springboard for the boy unto the world of men. So when boys, especially sensitive, temperamentally boys like me, okay, all my clients are very sensitive individuals, okay, when they don't sufficiently bond with the father, they don't bond with other boys growing up. And then whenever they get to puberty, all those unmet emotional bonding and attachment needs with boys become sexualized unconsciously, and then society says, you're gay.
Yeah.
Accept it. But what's happening is they're not realizing that there are wounds and there are unresolved issues underneath those same-sex attractions. It is not a sexual issue. It's an emotional issue. So with clients, we help them realize, listen, you don't really want sex with men. You really want to emotionally connect and have friendships with men that are deeply intimate in emotional ways. Once our clients get that and they heal over the wounds that are leading to SSA, like for me, again, it was also sexual abuse, they heal those wounds, the same-sex attractions so often diminish, resolve, go away, and they go on to lead heterosexual lives.
That's amazing. Why do you think the homosexuals won't, if they want to be the radical ones who like it lifestyle, why don't they just go and do it? Why do you think they're trying to prevent anyone else from overcoming it?
Because their whole mantra is on the foundation of born this way, cannot change. Therefore, you must recognize that this is the absolute equivalent to heterosexuality. And that's absolutely fundamentally false. In the last 25 years, there's been research study after research study, okay, some of them conducted by the United States government in the form of the National Institutes of Health, looked in the early 2000s, looked at the Human Genome Project, mapped the whole genome looking for the supposed gay gene. And they came back with a miraculous conclusion that genes don't cause sexual behavior. They tell us whether you're a boy or a girl, okay? This has been happening. They've looked at brains, they've looked at genes, they looked at hormones. They can't find a clear biological cause to homosexuality because there is not one. What it is a combination of factors: environmental, familial, and temperamental.
I believe that a belief in God can allow you to overcome anything. There's nothing that you cannot overcome.
Well, I believe that spirituality plays a role in many clients and individuals struggling with this issue, like any other issue. It certainly did for me.
Yes.
I believe, like you do, that through God all things are possible. But the whole notion that one can simply make a behavioral choice to leave homosexuality, I think has hurt some people, especially those in the church, where they say, well, you just need to change.
I totally agree with you.
Or you just need to be delivered of the spirit of homosexuality.
Yeah, I agree.
So I try to educate people in the church when I speak, and I say, listen, you cannot deliver a wound.
Hold on, Christopher. Let me take a quick break. Back in a moment, folks. Christopher Doyle is with me, voice of the voiceless, and he is the co-founder and president of that organization and director of International Healing Foundation. Christopher, how can people help you, and where can they go to help you?
Thank you for saying that. I was just about to mention that, Jesse. So right now, we have a petition that if you go to our website at voiceofthevoiceless.info and sign that petition, you will email every single member of the Washington, D.C. City Council and tell them to vote no for Bill 20-501, which is trying to take away the rights of minors and their parents from choosing a licensed mental health practitioner in Washington, D.C. to help them sort out issues of homosexuality, gender confusion, and basically dictate their own goals of therapy. This bill will tell parents and minors there is only one option if you are same-sex attracted in Washington, D.C. for therapy, is that you must accept your same-sex attractions and live a gay life. That's the only option for you.
Amazing. And I'm sorry, what is the website again?
Voiceofthevoiceless.info.
Okay. Andre, you've already signed it, you say? My audio engineer says that he has already signed this bill, and so did James, the producer. So right on, and I'll sign it today as well. What is Barack Obama is in support of homosexuality all the way. I've never seen a president who support the lifestyle as much as he does. Is that making it hard for you guys to do what you need to do?
Well, listen, I think that there's a broad consensus of support, especially among the Democratic Party, for LGBT Americans. And I don't oppose the rights of LGBT Americans in the sense that I believe in equal rights for all people. Okay? I don't believe that anyone should be discriminated against. I believe we live in a free and fair society, and that we live in a civil society, and we can't dictate that civil society by religion per se. However, I think we're at the point right now, Jesse, where people of faith who have a sincere conscience objection to participating either in themselves in homosexual behavior or participating, for example, a florist or a baker in a same-sex wedding, are now being discriminated against because of their religious convictions. And I think fair is fair. So if we are going to grant equal protection under the law for LGBT Americans, which I support, we also need to extend those protections to former homosexuals, ex-gays, and Christians who have a sincere religious objection to participating in those activities. That would be the only fair thing to do. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but in Washington, D.C., ex-gays are now a protected class against discrimination. The only jurisdiction in the country, ex-gays are a protected class.
Wow.
So this legislation has implications against discriminating against former homosexuals in the district as well.
It's weird in that the homosexuals say that they want freedom, they want to be able to do, to do what they want to do, and they don't like discrimination. They want equality, and yet they fight so hard against equality for others, those who disagree.
Well, because they're projecting that. Remember, the homosexual community is fueled by activists. Okay, when you talk to a normal person that's gay or lesbian, that's not an activist, and you talk about these issues with them and ask them, listen, should someone who has an objection to homosexuality be forced to participate in a same-sex marriage by providing a service? Most of them would say no.
Yeah, that's true.
There's plenty of bakers or florists out there that we can go to participate in a same-sex marriage. If you would ask them, hey, if someone wanted to get counseling in order to leave homosexuality, it just wasn't right for them, like it wasn't for me, would you object to that? They would say no.
Yeah.
We live in a free society. But the homosexual activists are driving this issue by trying to provide misinformation on the nature of what this therapy really is. Jesse, when I testified in New Jersey last year, 2013, about this issue of banning therapy, A transgender activist claimed that she was sent to a conversion therapy torture camp in Ohio in 1997. Said she was electroshocked and given forced IV fluid in order to vomit at the sight of homosexual pornography when she was shown to it. We investigated that story. We called the Ohio Attorney General's office, the Ohio Secretary of State, the church who she said sent her to this, as well as the Assemblies of God Church, who she said sponsored this camp called True Directions. Did you know that we found out that this camp, True Directions, did not exist?
Yeah.
The only where it existed was in a 1999 movie with RuPaul. It was a completely fictitious, made-up story.
Wow.
The whole story is published on worldnetdaily.com. You look at March 21st, 2013. This woman completely, this transgender activist completely lifted this story, and there was no accountability in these committee hearings. Okay? So I'm telling you, as I speak here today, on Friday, I will testify along with a half a dozen other people in against this bill, and there will be people that come and testify unchallenged that will say they were tortured, electroshocked by this therapy, and no one will challenge that. No one on that council will challenge. So I'm asking your listeners, sign this petition, come stand with us in Washington, D.C. We're going to have a press conference after this committee hearing, because I'm telling you, you're going to hear these tales of electroshock that's going to be happening at this committee hearing. They're going to say that people are being tortured. No one will be able to tell you that licensed counselor that did the torture, that supposedly electroshocked the person.
Yeah.
No details will be given, and I hope to God that someone on the council asks the witness, well, what was the name of this counselor who did this to you?
Yeah.
Who when did it happen? So they don't challenge these witnesses, and then this information gets repeated in the media as if it's gospel truth.
That's true. Voicesofthevoiceless.com, is that right?
It's voiceofthevoiceless.info. Please go and sign that petition and stand with us on Friday.
And that WorldNet Daily article is called Transgendered Woman Lies About Therapy Torture, so the folks can check that out. We have 2 minutes left here. I know that I've read that you've been through a lot, that these people have attacked you, and yet you have a good attitude about it. Is that true, first, that you have been attacked by these folks, and how do you maintain your attitude?
Sure, I get harassing phone calls and emails all the time that are less than pleasant, but the attitude that I have, Jesse, is when you have the truth on your side, when you personally have experienced the change that I've experienced and have seen others transformed through good therapy, competent ethical therapy, as well as people that have loved them in the church and outside the church, I have a positive attitude because I believe that the truth will come out.
Yeah.
I already know that we have won many battles in 2014 against this, and we have to continue to be vigilant, because as long as people like myself exist, we will be the bane of the gay activists' existence.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
They will not quit until they try to take away the rights of myself and everyone to tell their stories that people can leave homosexuality and that change is possible.
Yeah.
And we need to be vigilant in understanding that these people, the activists, are wounded. They have hurt that is unresolved, and they are trying to legislate their way into acceptance in American culture.
Yeah.
And as long as people like me exist, that's going to be difficult for them to get their legislation rammed down the throats of people in the American public. So we need to be vigilant and continue to speak the truth in love. Yes.
I have I host a local show here on Saturdays on 8:70 a.m. I'm going to have my producer contact you, and maybe we can have you on this Saturday to do a follow-up about the hearing on Friday if you are available.
I would love to.
Okay. Thank you, Christopher, and hopefully we will talk again on Saturday, and God bless you for what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Bye now. Back in a moment, folks.